Hello, cryptid community. I am Mulbre, the cryptid slime, and welcome anyone who might be new to my videos. But today we are making a thumbnail. So I'm kind of hoping to merge creating thumbnails with my Let's Talk series so that way we kind of have a more dynamic video to watch. And because that's just what I'm feeling right now. I'm like really feeling this making the thumbnail process. Because, you know, down with the AI, up with the creativity, I've just really been enjoying it. So I want to start by talking about what it is I'm doing in the video, and that is making a thumbnail for one of my older videos where I played Aurora Hills Chapter 1, which is free on Steam currently, because I had played Aurora Hills before I played Meridian 157, and both games are made by NovaSoft Interactive. However, I played them backwards. 157 came before Aurora Hills, but that's okay. That is okay. So I'm just trying to find what pictures I want for the background, what kind of story I want to tell, what kind of introduction to the game I want to have. So that really took a large chunk of time, just trying to find the perfect screenshot. But while we try to find the perfect screenshot, I want to tell you guys a little bit about the game. So, potential spoiler alert, Aurora Hills was first announced for release in 2022, with the official Steam release being on April 20th, 2024. It's honestly not too bad with how beautiful the art is and how well the puzzles are made. NovaSoft Interactive did a great job, including a wide variety of puzzles. They had a lot of different puzzles. I don't think any in this game were repeated twice. I know in Meridian 157 there was quite a few repeats, but only if you played all of the games. There would be some of the same puzzles, but only one in each game. The setting of this game takes place in West Virginia, USA, in the town of Aurora Hills near the Appalachian Mountains. Now, I don't think Aurora Hills is a real town. I think Aurora Hills is a fictional town, but the Appalachian Mountains and West Virginia are both very real places, very beautiful places. However, as the years pass, the thriving and vibrant town becomes haunted by ever-increasing disappearances. The story begins in 1981 with our main man, Ethan Hill, a park ranger of 11 years, starting what seems to be an average day, only to realize it won't be an average day when his partner goes missing. As for Chapter 2, NovaSoft did bless us with an update on March 24th, stating that Chapter 2 is coming soon. I will have a link to the update in the description below for you guys. So hopefully this means we will see the new game in either the second or third quarter of this year, because we don't know what soon means, but hopefully sooner than later. So let's get into the video here for a little bit and just kind of enjoy some music and the artistic process. I will check back in a few. So hi guys, it has now been a few. So I did decide on my screenshots, I did decide on the story I wanted to have. I decided on a juxtaposition between the opening scene of our character trying to get coffee with the final scene of, spoiler alert, an abandoned campsite where our park ranger partner seems to have gone missing from, because we did find some evidence of her being there at the campsite. And I'm just trying to decide what else I want on the screen, what kind of text do I want to have, what additions I want to have. I did try to find a nice title to have, like a very pretty title, because normally I would take the actual like logo of the game and put it on, but I couldn't find a decent one that I wanted to use because I uninstalled the game, so I would have had to have reinstalled it to get a screenshot of their little welcome to Aurora Hills sign. So I did decide to kind of write it all out myself. But some of the other stuff I like to do with my thumbnails is I'll use like the dodge and burn tool to kind of darken things and brighten things. I like to have a nice little border, and in order to create a 3D effect on the border, I'll grab some of the images from the background and bring it up over the top of my border colors. I don't know, I personally think it helps add a little bit of a dynamic 3D effect to it. But I just very much am trying to get away from using an AI generated image. I know some of my older thumbnails do have an AI generated image, but I'm slowly trying to get away from that. I don't know. I've never been too clicky on the really, because on like the oversaturated, I don't like the images where somebody's like showing their face and like really weird, unnecessary fake facial expressions. Like, I've never felt inclined to click on those. But that seems to be the current trend, is oversaturating, overcomplicated facial expressions that never actually occur in the video, and like way over dramatizing everything. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just because I don't like that kind of content, but everything here, trying to do my own thing. But for some more cool, interesting facts, let's talk about the creators of Aurora Hills, the very own NovaSoft Interactive. They started the company in 2019 in Alberta, Canada, during their university years. Their very first game was Meridian 157 Prologue. And personally, I really liked their first game, and I actually never would have guessed they started it so early in their careers. Like, it truly felt like it wasn't their first. Like, I don't know how to explain that, just that it felt really good, really polished. I mean, it really was polished to a perfect shine, and I felt like it had a great story. I had a lot of fun playing it. And their goal is to make games that have great experiences, stories, and puzzles that can be played on just about any device. Their website says their games are available on iOS, Android, Mac, and PC. That is not an easy thing to do. It is not an easy thing to do. And even better, they aim to never have ads that interrupt gameplay. And I personally found that to be such a beautiful thing to read. I am loving what NovaSoft is doing. However, this is all I could find, and maybe in the future they'll release a Q&A talking about what inspired them, maybe future projects, maybe their personal lives, or just more information. Because I personally, that is literally all I could find about them. Is I looked on their Facebook, I looked on their website, I looked on their updates, I looked on their YouTube, so they're a very, a ninja sneaky company. So yeah, what else am I doing here? I'm like rewatching my own video here to see what it is I'm doing. It looks like I'm messing with the various color filter tools, the light, the dark, the saturation, because I found the layout that I want. I'm now just trying to make it look colorfully appealing. So I've got my little coffee, I've got the campsite, I've got the title, I've got the little, I took the word missing out of that missing poster and added the text, "More hikers keep going, missing." I don't know, I thought that was a fun touch. But I will see you guys at the end of the video. Talk to you soon. So hey everyone, checking back in one last time, and this time I get to talk about an off-topic item because I did want to merge this in with my Let's Talk series, which means I get to talk about whatever that matters to me, and I want to talk about something that matters to me, and that is just how much I have been disliking modern Disney villains. Because it is so annoying when deciding whether or not you like or dislike a Disney villain has become a mental chore. It's no longer a simple, yes, this is the bad guy, yes, this is the good, not good guy. Now it's like morally gray, now it's mental gymnastics, now it's like you don't know whether or not a bad character is actually a bad character or not. So I recently watched the live action, or animated to look live, of the Mufasas, the Lion King Mufasa, whatever the title was, where it was about Mufasa and Scar when they were younger. And the whole point about Scar is he's supposed to be a bad guy. He's just supposed to be solidly a bad guy. However, in this film, he's no longer just solidly a bad guy. It is now a mystery as to whether or not he's a bad guy. He is now a morally gray character. Because in the beginning, when Mufasa loses his family, it's tragic and it's horrible. And he was a cub. And he very quickly got adopted into a new family where Scar saved him. And then this cub is then left to go live with the female side of the pride, while Scar continues to be indoctrinated and taught and lives with his father. Which ends up with Scar having like some really weird like personality traits, whereas Mufasa grows up to be a more well-rounded sort of lion. And Scar like gets really messed up because Scar's father does not have his moment of coming to realization until he's about to die. At which point Scar and Mufasa are running away because they're trying not to, die themselves. So literally, Scar's already behind developmental-wise, whereas Mufasa is ahead developmental-wise, and he's had years to overcome the loss of his family. Scar has not had that chance. He is fresh from leaving his pride. He is fresh from having to learn new things. And he is still coming to terms with this. But he still continues to stick by Mufasa and saves him multiple times. But then we continue forward with this character and Mufasa starts lying on his own accord, starts lying about things that Scar has done, starts trying to like help him woo Zarabi by telling Mufasa tells Scar to say things that he does not even begin to know. Like, he has no way of knowing this. And he tells him to go to Zarabi and say these things. And then he lies about how Scar saved her. So this dude's just getting screwed over left and right. So he loses his family. He's actively being hunted down. And now the lioness that he has a crush on gets stolen by Mufasa. I mean, I don't know if stolen's the right word, but she ends up going with Mufasa. So I'm not saying Scar is a good person, and I'm not saying his actions were justified, but I could definitely understand why he did the things that he did. And what I'm saying I don't like about this is I don't want to have to be sitting here doing mental gymnastics while trying to watch this film. I don't want to have to sit there worrying about whether or not this character is truly good or bad or not. I don't want to be walking out of this film questioning what I just watched, which is exactly what I had done. I do not feel satisfied after watching this movie. I do not feel like I had a good experience. And I certainly don't feel like I want to sit down and watch that movie again because of what they had done with Scar. And same with Wish. They did that there too. I cannot remember the big bad guy's name, but that sorcerer, he was not a bad person. He was traumatized. Dude needed to go to therapy. Does that justify his actions? No, but having a child come into your home, disrespect you, and then immediately try to dethrone you can really mess up somebody's head. Because at this point, he was being extremely generous. He was being extremely kind. He was being extremely helpful. And then suddenly that wasn't good enough anymore. So yeah, he just needed therapy. So I had the same issue. I did not feel like I would want to watch that show again. In fact, I wished I could have gotten my time back. In fact, I wish I didn't feel the need to sit here and complain about it. Because I didn't like it. I think it was Rapunzel, Tangled. The movie was called Tangled. Mother Gothel. Okay, yeah, she was probably the closest to a modern Disney villain that was actually a villain. Because, yeah, she kidnapped a child. She kidnapped them, hid them away, and gaslit her. Those are not good things. Good people do not do those things. However, Mother Gothel and that heckin' flower, she did not kill that flower. Yeah, she hid it away. Okay, but at least the flower was alive. At least other people had the opportunity to use that flower had they found it. However, the king and the queen literally dug up the flower, kept it for themselves, and then killed it. They ate the flower. Nobody has access to this flower anymore. And Mother Gothel, she tried to just cut the girl's hair. She didn't want to take the kid at first. Does that make her a good person? Does that redeem her? No, it doesn't. I'm not saying it does. But because of the actions that they chose to tell this story, I am now left sitting here going, well, okay, but if the king and queen hadn't killed the flower, none of this would be happening. Like it makes me want to lump the king and the queen in with her, because now nobody else has access to that resource. All because they chose to kill it. Like, what makes them, what they did, any different than what Mother Gothel did when she hoarded that flower for years and years and years? But I would say she is the closest to like a legitimate Disney villain who's just a villain. And all I'm saying that is, in a world of infinite possibilities when it comes to writing, I just wish that they would write characters who weren't morally gray. If you're gonna make a villain, make a villain. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be sitting here doing mental gymnastics to watch a movie. Especially not a Disney animated movie. If it was a different animation studio, if it was a different genre, like live action or a story retelling, then okay, they could get complicated. But when it comes to Disney animations, I do not want super complicated storylines. Anyways, I will end my rant there. And I will show the finished thumbnail at the end of the video. I'll kind of like do a little bit of a pause and show the completed thumbnail. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching the process of making it and kind of my thoughts behind making it, as well as the added little facts about the game and the creators of the game. So I'll try to do this every single time I make a thumbnail. I'll follow this very similar template of talking about the game, then talking about the creators, then having my own little personal let's talk moment. Because I think this is fun. For me, it's really fun to make and I'm enjoying it. And I hope you guys are as well. So thank you again for your time watching this and coming to hang out. If you guys liked this, I will have very similar Let's Talk as well as Let's Make thumbnails. But if you like my content, but you don't want to listen to me and my opinions, I have a Just the Demo series where I play video games and keep my opinions to myself. So until next time, bye everyone.